Guys, thought I'd just drop you this quick tip. How do we do skin smoothing? You know, like you see in high-end fashion magazines. Well, this is one of my go-to ways of doing this. And we can go from what you've seen on screen here to something lovely and soft, like what you would expect to see in a fashion magazine. How we do that? Really, really quickly. Just on a quick side note, this is a straight raw file, straight out of camera, that's been cropped into a square format, so it could be used on something, for example, like Instagram. Okay. Other than that, nothing else has been done to this image apart from that skin smoothing technique. All right. So how do we do that? Well, first things first. All right. I'll set everything back to how it was. This is our background layer, and what we're going to do with this background layer is we're going to create a duplicate of it. The easiest way to do that is Control or Command J. Control and J if you're on a Windows machine, Command and J if you're on a Mac. Okay, so Command J gives us a copy. What we're going to do now, we're going to invert that copy. Alright, so again, Control or Command, but this time we're going to press I. So I'm going to hold Command and press I. If you're on a Windows machine, you're going to hold Control and press I. Alright, so that's turned this into something little bit like out of a horror movie. Alright, but we're not worrying about that. This is the first step into creating that lovely, soft, smooth skin. Next, up on the blend modes, alright, if I click normal, we've got all these options here. So while we've got us inverted layer selected, we're going to click that from normal and we're going to change it to vivid light. Almost disappeared. In fact, I'd say we've made it worse. Alright, now we've got pretty much just a grey screen over the top of our image. Okay, what I'm going to do now though is with that on vivid light, I'm going to go up to filter right at the top menu, and I'm going to go to other, and I'm going to go to high pass. I'm going to click on high pass, and you want this set to 24 pixels. Alright, so there we go, radius 24 pixels, click OK. Now it doesn't look all that great at the minute, but there's a few more steps we need to do. Alright, same layer. This time we're going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. I'm going to click on that, and you want a blur, a radius for your blur of around 3 to 4 pixels. Now at the minute we're on 4 pixels. If I change that to 3, you can see it becomes a little bit softer. If I go 4, it's not quite as soft. I'm going to go for 4 on this image because it suits the image. Alright, so then we click OK. So quick recap. We've duplicated our background layer, we inverted it, we changed the blend mode to vivid light, we did a high pass filter at 24 pixels, and we've just done a Gaussian blur filter at 4 pixels. Alright, as you can see, this skin now is lovely and soft. The only problem is it's applied that effect to the whole of our image. So what we need to do, we need to mask off that effect in the areas that we don't want it. So the easiest way of doing that, you can see if we turn this layer on and off, we've got our background layer still underneath. If we press and hold Alt or Option if you're on a Mac, so I'm going to press Option on my Mac keyboard, and then I'm going to click the layer mask button down here, okay, just down here. That creates an inverted layer mask. Alright, it's black. That effect is not shown. That effect is still there, but it's hidden by this black layer mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a brush. I'm going to select white on my keyboard. Now if your colours are all messed up, if you just press D on your keyboard, it resets them to standard black and white, with your white being your foreground colour. I'm going to get a lovely soft brush, so 0% hardness. Okay, and I'm going to alter the size of that brush with my bracket keys on my keyboard, up and down. Okay, now with my layer mask selected and my brush on, I've got a white paintbrush, and I'm just going to paint white onto my image where I want that skin softening effect to be shown. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just going to paint it up here. Alright, and I'm using a Wacom tablet here, so probably a little bit quicker for me with regards to actually painting this effect on, and probably a little bit more accurate. Okay, But again, I'm going to adjust the size of my brush. Okay, and don't worry about being accurate around the eyes and everything else for this moment, and the lips. Alright, we can sort that out in just 1 second. Alright, so I'm just going to do that entire thing. And as you can see, we've got lovely soft skin. Lovely soft smooth skin. Okay. However, that effect, I've been a bit rushed, if you like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change my brush to black, and I'm just going to paint on this layer mask where I don't want that effect to be. So I'm going to go over the eyelashes, okay, in black, and make sure that effect's not there. I'm going to do the same this side, and I'm going to do the same on the lips. Okay, just make sure this finger didn't get any on it as I went down the side of it. Alright, make my brush a little bit smaller. I'm going to go over the eyebrows. Okay, and this nose just there, I wanted it taken off just there. Okay, so there you have it. There is the skin softening applied. You can turn that on and off, and you can see the difference that makes. And that is simply done. That can be done in under a minute or two for most images. Okay, and you can see the effect that that has. Makes it a much more pleasing image, and an image that you'd be much more likely to find in a fashion magazine. Okay, just a quick side note: if there are any blemishes on your model's skin, such as these little marks here, that you want to remove first, or remove to make the skin even smoother, you need to do that before you do this smoothing technique. Okay, so it would be literally a case of grab your spot healing brush, perhaps paint over them to get rid of them, and then apply that skin smoothing technique. Alright, but as you can see, it does a really good job. It's a really quick job. So there you have it. Speak to you soon, guys. Bye bye.